according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Luca Vildoza, one of the top playmaking guards in Europe, has agreed in principle to a 4-year, $13.6 million with the New York $13.6 million deal with the New York Knicks. I always love to see new players come in, even if they're right now they're sitting on the end of the bench. I love to see them guys come in and see what they can do, because you never know when one of those guys, going to take off like a Jeremy Lin took off or something like that.
Yeah, the Luca thing, like you said, it's a deal in principle. We heard about Luca Vildoza. We heard over 3 weeks ago. But the deal took a little bit longer than we were thinking because for one, European teams basically, if they have to release a player from his current contract, for one, they have a buyout, which was $2 million for Luca, which is another stipulation because the NBA team can only in the current season can pay up to $750,000. So the rest Luca had to come up himself, right? And it's not like he earned that amount of cash that he just opened the bank and just pulled it out. So probably that there was a little bit of logistics there. And the other thing is that European teams tend to firstly find a replacement for the guy that they're going to release, and then they, are able to, to release the player, right? The reports were that they're going to, sign a guy named Dallas Moore, an American guard. But if I'm correct, they didn't, it didn't pan out perfectly, so that's why also probably the few days of a holdup. Well, now, like you said, it's the immigration process, probably just the testing and logistics, which means packing, flying, and the rest of the basic stuff. I'm expecting Luca to be in the States after we come back from the road trip, so he might be available for the last 3 games. Then again, if he never, practiced with the team, I wouldn't expect him getting minutes. Maybe if it's going to be a huge blowout. But, like I said, the first time, I don't think we might even see Luka this season. But like you said, it's a 4-year deal. It's guaranteed only for this year, which is $3.5 million. And this is, also going back to the buyout with the $2 million buyout. That's why this year's is guaranteed, right? So he handled his business, and his agent did a great job, signing that guaranteed deal so he can be on the plus even this year. Just to mention about his agent, he also represents Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dennis Schroeder, Tomas Satoransky, Facundo Campazzo, which we're going to see probably tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He also represents the other 2 Antetokounmpo brothers and one Knicks player, which is Alec Burks. And that's from interesting stuff about his agent. The other huge star that he represents is Bam Adebayo from the Heat. So he only represents 14 players, but the salary, the payroll for those players next year is almost 89 million. So if he has a couple of percent cut from that, that's a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me, what do you think? What are his chances of being, in your opinion, of being a, let's start with starting point guard in the NBA. What are his chances of being a starting point guard in the NBA based on your knowledge of him?
Well, percentage-wise, I think it's lower than 5%. I know that he has the skill set and stuff like that, but he's more of a bench player as far as I see it. Yet to mention that he also came off the bench even in Europe some games. So he was the captain for Baskonia, but he wasn't always the starter because, they play a couple of games a week because they have, the league game, the EuroLeague game. and it's not that easy to travel like in the States. Not every team has, their plane and they just pop up after a game. Most of the teams still fly commercial, and that the logistics in Europe are like 20 years behind the NBA. Let's be true about that. So I rather see him, his career go starting at least off the bench, but he might, show us some skill sets that Knicks fans will love. That Argentinian blood, pesky defender. He also can score. His pull-up game is tremendous. He can shoot the three. He can break down the offense. And just remember me saying this: his floaters and driving game going high off the glass. I don't think you guys saw players going high off the glass like he's gonna go. That's just wild how he takes it. It's like unnatural even. And Sim, just to add, we got to realize that he's 25 years old, so he still has ways to go.
Yeah.
There were late bloomers in the NBA, and it's not only about late blooming, but for example, Joe Ingles, he was a rookie at 27 years old. Not to mention, Luca's idol Pablo Prigioni. He was 34, if I'm correct, and he was a rookie, and he still got the Knicks minutes, and those were valuable minutes. So I'm not going to say that he's not going to pan out, but I don't see Thibs starting him next season. So, let's not go that way ahead of ourselves and of Luca, right?
Will he be in the rotation, you think?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. About the rotation, me personally, I would play him even over quickly. That's for sure. And people are gonna say that I'm a quickly hater, but I think as I would love.
Especially how he's playing now.
Hey, let's just call a spade a spade. You don't like it, Andy?
No. It's not about that. I just prefer my point guard to have other kind of skill set, right? So I'd go with Luca with there, but he can easily play alongside Derrick Rose and quickly. So that's how versatile he is, and how he's gonna recognize the lineup that he's in to keep everyone happy as the main floor general and point guard. And just to remind you guys, two interesting things also about Argentinian players. One I was talking about also before the season was Facundo Campazzo, which now is probably going to start versus us tonight at Denver. And the other guy, the other Argentinian national team player from Europe that was signed barely 2 weeks ago, was Gabriel Deck from Argentina, but he was signed by the OKC Thunder.
Right.
So, there's a haul of NBA teams getting those Argentinian players in the NBA. And, I think it's maybe not a trend because, more and more, not American players get into the NBA, year and every year coming through. But I think it's kind of a way that NBA teams are starting to value that international talent, and that they can, plug them in the NBA systems. So we're probably going to see that happening more and more often.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, how, when he finally gets here. I mean, you're right. He's not going to play much this season unless the Knicks are blowing somebody out or get blown out. So they get him here. He's tradable at the trade deadline, right? Because his contract extends beyond next year, even though there are 3 non-guaranteed years. His contract extends beyond the trade deadline, so they can use him in the trade if they want to. They got time. They got the summer to work with him. They have summer league. They got training camp. They have all this time to kind of work with him, get him in the system, and really see what he can do instead of just throwing him out there now. And he gets a chance to, ingratiate himself with the team a little bit, understand the culture that the Knicks are building, and all those type of things. So I think they put him in a good situation, and they put themselves in a good situation to have a chance to, see what the guy is about and how he works with the team. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.